Underdunk returned home this past week. You're about to see the first matchup of the night from Underdunk 51. For those that don't know, Underdunk is our bi-weekly Pokemon Unite tournament here in North America and LATAM North. We host it every other Thursday on my Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/SteelAgentKyle. The Discord and Underdunk's Twitter is in the description, so if you are interested in getting your team locked in and ready for next year's UCS, or if you're just looking to have some fun, make sure to click in. Follow us for updates and when we are going to be hosting the next tournament. It is going to be on May 29th, so a week from this Thursday. Here is the first matchup of the day. It is Kyoto to Tokyo versus the Rapid Spinners for a first round matchup. This is quite the set. Very entertaining from start to finish. That is all for me. Enjoy this winners round one matchup between Kyoto to Tokyo and the Rapid Spinners.
Somehow, so I'm sure we're going to be seeing some Suicune tonight. Here we go, Kyle, into our game number one.
Into game number one, and check out the new graphics. Hopefully everybody likes them. I spent a lot of time on them, so praise me, please. I learned Photoshop, everybody, in record time,
Kyle, great
honestly.
job. Everybody praise Kyle in chat or you're banned.
Don't ban anybody. Immediately seeing some bans, though. Suicune, the one that we just talked about, skated.
Yeah, because Suicune didn't praise Kyle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Neither did Umbreon, for that matter.
Yeah, and that's what happens. That's what happens. When you don't praise Kyle, you get banned in draft.
Psyduck, again, a lot of supporter-type Pokemon, so Psyduck, Blissey getting banned. Umbreon, technically a defender. A lot of teams still play it in more of a supporter slot, and even Suicune tends to be a little bit more passive, more like a defender, supporter type role. So very interesting there. But immediately we're seeing one of those buff Pokemon go in the first slot. It is that Garchomp.
I am surprised to see Garchomp picked up first, but Starlight is a very good Garchomp player, so it doesn't surprise me that this player would specifically want to draft that in the first pick slot. So I think that's a good option for them. Not sure if we will consistently be seeing Garchomp first picked in every match, but I think that they just wanted to snag this away. And on the other side, Talonflame still having a lot of draft priority, and Sableye still being the supporter pick for this team.
Love the leftovers on Sableye. It can be really strong. Keeping map presence on the other side, putting pressure on goal zones, just generally disrupting the flow of what Rapid Spinners want to do. I also like the Wigglytuff. I think that's going to be really good into something like this Talonflame that's going to want to escape. That Q-turn procs, that could be very troublesome for that bird.
Yeah, I love the Wigglytuff pick. I feel like it's one of those tank/supports that just doesn't get picked up super often, but it can be very, very valuable. So I'm excited to see what that does. On the other side, we've got Pikachu. I imagine we will be seeing Volt Tackle Pikachu try to shut down whatever Chunti's going to pick up because, you know, they're that... Oh, they actually went with Blaziken. Very interesting. I figured they would go with a Speedster here, but in Mamoswine as well. So a lot of CC on both sides right now.
And there, yeah, like you said, the Blaziken last pick for Rapid Spinners. Also, kind of surprised to see that Pokemon fall this late. We're gonna see immediate presence from Rapid Spinners from, you know, some of these buffed Pokemon. And this is a matchup that we were talking about before the match started in the green room. Is this Blaziken versus Buzzwole matchup? Buzzwole tends to win that 1v1. We'll see how this plays out.
Wonder if they will send Blaziken to the central area just for some map presence in the top path with Garchomp just to get that level 5 and then slow down the Buzzwole a little bit by getting Blaziken a little bit out ahead. The other pick that I want to mention on Rapid Spinners is this Sylveon. Jade running the Sylveon, very good Sylveon player, but I'm not sure about this pick. I mean, I guess you could run either moveset with it. You've got the curse item on it, but I'm just not sure how great Sylveon's doing right now, so I'm going to be keeping a lookout for that.
I am too. I based on what they have equipped currently, it leads me to believe it's going to be a Hyper Voice. Typically with the Mystical Fire, you see like a Muscle Band, or maybe even some more tanky items. So this looked like an all damage. They're looking to proc any sort of anti-healing on it. The Shell Bell is also a nice addition. So we're seeing some of these new items, or I guess the buff items with the Shell Bell pretty early on.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to it. I think that I like Kyoto to Tokyo's draft a little bit better, but it also is going to depend on what they do with this Pikachu as their main ranged damage dealer. I would suspect Volt Tackle, but honestly, this isn't a bad Mage Pika game.
Not at all. Look at this Snorlax in game number 1 of round 1. Immediately heading for a little bit of an invade on Kyoto to Tokyo side.
Yeah, heading in to try to slow down this Talonflame that's in the central area. They're going to go for it here. They will pick up this blue buff. Now, Swinub also coming into the central area to try to slow down the Snorlax. Everybody has gathered in the central area to deal with this thing.
4 members attempt to converge on the big ol' Snorlax, unable to do so, and they get out scot-free. Sableye gonna try for a little bit of revenge on the opposite side of the map, but they will see that that central area of that Combuskin is barren. Look at this Snorlax just disrupting this Talonflame. Unable to get evolved, forced to grab a Citrus Berry, and forced to grab that back farm.
I really like the choice of the invasion with the Snorlax because it prevents the Sableye from being able to do any real damage on the opposite side. And that's really what you're worried about with a Pokemon that is invisible and annoying. But now we've got 4 members of both sides who have made it up into the top path looking for the birds. But we already have this Wigglytuff getting online. We've got a level 5 on that Garchomp and Combuskin heading back into the central area.
Ooh, we do see the dig from that Garchomp, one of the buff moveset. Great engage here from Wigglytuff. Is going to keep Buzzwole from forcing any more bit further towards the Rapid Spinner side, and they realize that that is a fool's errand to continue pushing.
I love this Wigglytuff pick. Look at it. I mean, like, yeah, sure, the Swinub can stun it, but it just walks in. It can X-speed away. It can just operate on half HP through the entire game. It's going to be really difficult for Kyoto to Tokyo to deal with it, especially to make sure that you're getting those moves out.
Oh, fantastic engage from Garchomp and Snorlax. Points are going to rain on in for Kyoto to Tokyo, or for Rapid Spinners on Kyoto to Tokyo's side. Sableye just forced to watch as it happens. And in the central area, Rapid Spinners cleans up all the Altaria family. Kyoto to Tokyo going for points.
Smart play for Kyoto to Tokyo to avoid the central area there and look for points, but Rapid Spinners responds very easily, picking up a KO there. Jade stacking up a little bit of that drive lens, and the Garchomp as well getting a KO. Sylveon with a double. It's a big start here for Rapid Spinners.
Great job. Yeah, Hyper Voice is the move of choice, and Snorlax 1 HP in a dream, just nearly escaping that hands of the Pikachu. And look at this, Mr. Turtle's going for another invade on this Wigglytuff. 10 seconds until these objectives spawn.
There's just a lot of options for Rapid Spinners to consistently be harassing Kyoto to Tokyo central area. You can just send Wigglytuff or Snorlax in there. You have the sustain of Garchomp being able to operate on its own and operate really well in 1v1 situations, just hanging out in the top path. They have incredible map presence right now.
Reggie Ice looking to go on in, overheat secure, but Brave Bird connects on multiple members. It's just the Snorlax that falls, and Talonflame and Mamoswine. Now Sableye going Blaziken, heating up already. Couple of KOs. I believe that was a triple for them.
Yeah, and there they're going. They're going for 4. They got the Quadra. Can they go for the Pensa? Pikachu's going to have to back up. They do have the Thunder, which is good for defending goal zones, but not good for... Oh, that's a great Starlight Recital right there. Gets Jade out of that situation. Huge moment for Rapid Spinners.
If Blaziken is stacking KOs, they're certainly well on their way with, I believe it was 6 right in that big engage there. Garchomp, already a level 11 Pokemon, 2 levels higher than anything that Kyoto to Tokyo is throwing out. And we have once again this Snorlax keeping presence on the central area of from Kyoto to Tokyo.
And they again are able to jump in with a big heavy slam, secure the blue buff away. And I feel like right now they're just tilting Kyoto to Tokyo with how far out ahead they've got. But Kyoto to Tokyo has a good end game, especially with that Talonflame. That Buzzwole can 1v1 better than anything on Rapid Spinner's side, as well as your Mamoswine that has a ton of CC options, and they're already moving in and picking up Garchomp. If they can continue operating as a team, they could have a chance in these fights.
All 5 members of Kyoto to Tokyo looking for that T1 goal zone. They think twice and retreat back to their own central area. Grabbing some levels, 200 to 70 right now, halfway mark. Right now, it's really been all Rapid Spinners controlling this map.
Yeah, but it's still not that far out of reach for Kyoto to Tokyo. 70 points are on the board for them, and they're not that far behind, realistically. It looks like Rapid Spinners gathering in the bottom path. Garchomp likely just going to rip that off the face of the earth, while Sylveon and Wigglytuff handle the top path.
Another Reg Ice over to Rapid Spinners. HP is going to increase as Regieleki starts to get hit from Kyoto to Tokyo. Great Ice Fang engaged there. Sing is going to try to put a couple members to sleep. There's the Starlight Recital, giving some shields. Mamoswine doing all of the work, making sure that Rapid Spinners can advance. Regieleki given to Kyoto to Tokyo. That is hard to say.
I really like the Mamoswine zoning right there. It really prevented Rapid Spinners from even getting in to try to secure it. They may have been able to with a Dazzling Gleam or a Heavy Slam, but they didn't want to leave that Sylveon alone with that Mamoswine. It doesn't really do anything for Kyoto to Tokyo. They get the objective, and that's kind of all they get out of it, but Mamoswine, definitely props to them for a great job zoning.
Sableye grabbing some vision, identifies the Garchomp, pushing a little bit forward. Still both T1 goal zones up for Rapid Spinners. If you're playing something like this Sableye, you'd really like to start breaking some goals so you can provide a little bit more value, but right now it just hasn't been identified, hasn't been found for Kyoto to Tokyo.
Sableye is a pick that can do a lot. You want it to be in the team fights, but you also want it to constantly be moving around the map, and Rapid Spinners has just done such a great job of maintaining control over that map so that Sableye can't really do anything. They have effectively completely shut down this Pokemon just by making sure that it doesn't get into any of those goal zones or really do much damage at all.
Great block from the Snorlax to prevent Mamoswine from advancing any further. Oh, Jade gets caught out by 3 members of Kyoto to Tokyo right there. That's going to enable a little bit of a push here. Sableye's grabbing vision as Buzzwole's pushing a little bit forward. Talonflame also hiding in the tall grass, looking for a Brave Bird to engage. But none's found. 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Basement Reggie's up. Rapid Spinners in position.
Look at this Mamoswine now having their turn invading the central area of Rapid Spinners. It's going to take away this blue buff. They're not going to care about either of these objectives, just trying to get experience. And honestly, Kyle, that's probably the best thing for them to do right now. They want to try to get their carries to level 13 because they're going up against a level 13 Blaziken. Not only that, but a level 14 on that Garchomp, and they're going to want to use any resources possible to make sure that they do not run away with this fight.
Looking to run away is the Sableye, just barely able to escape the claws of the Garchomp. Snorlax identifies the Buzzwole hiding in that pixel bush. Sableye once again putting a little bit of pressure, trying to identify where the rest of Rapid Spinners is. We have the Talonflame once again hiding in that tall grass as well. Oh, Sableye, Chaos Glower's not going to send anybody home. Unite move from the Wigglytuff is going to cleanse any crowd control from Kyoto to Tokyo. There's the Buzzwole engaged directly on a couple members of Rapid Spinners, but Garchomp turns it right back around, gets a double KO of their own.
What a fantastic Hyper Voice to start off that fight, forcing the Sableye Unite move out and making it absolutely useless, immediately into a full cleanse on the Starlight Recital, and suddenly the Buzzwole's rendered completely useless, not able to do anything here. Mamoswine also going down to this Blaziken, but now members of Kyoto to Tokyo are back, so Rapid Spinners doesn't quite want to go for a full send on this Rayquaza.
Still a minute left, still a massive lead from Rapid Spinners. Is going to just force the hand of Kyoto to Tokyo as they still have 1 member down. Hiding in the tall grass, 3 members there, waiting for the rest of the reinforcements to get back on the map. There's going to be time for 1 more push.
They're going to have to look for a full team engage here. Now Snorlax knows Sableye and Mamoswine are here. Now they see Pikachu as well, so the rest of Rapid Spinners have to come back into the middle. Blaziken also doing a great job of maintaining the control over those top bushes. Finds a big overheat, but is caught by Buzzwole.
Oh, all 5 members converge right onto the Blaziken, but that was the trap that Rapid Spinners wanted. Oh, they turn it right back around. Massive engage from Jade. 3 members of Kyoto to Tokyo are down. Buzzwole standing with a little bit of a shield. Is Sylveon going to be able to clear it out? Yes, they do. Rapid Spinners going to be taking game 1.
I regret saying anything bad about that Sylveon pick. What a great setup for Jade as well. Just enough damage into a huge Fairy Frolic Unite move just to close out that damage with the Hyper Voice. I mean, Sylveon is such a great supportive mid-range attacker in those situations, especially when you get a lot of CC on your team and you can just perfectly position your Hyper Voice with the Wigglytuff Sing, Snorlax being able to engage with a Heavy Slam. Just great playing there from the Sylveon, as well as, I mean, the entire team, Rapid Spinners, able to pull that one out.
I mean, we have to give it to Jade. We have to give it to Jade, our friend. But honestly, like you said, Rapid Spinners played that absolutely perfectly. They knew their win condition. They had a massive lead going into it. They knew that they could force the hand from Kyoto to Tokyo. Hey, I said it right this time, and they did. And one by one, they fell. I thought for a second Chuti was going to get caught out there, but man, the follow-up from the rest of the team, it was a good bait, but the vision was found, and Rapid Spinners prevailed in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you put Blaziken up there, just hitting a big overheat, and it stuns the opponents for enough time to give the rest of the team an option to come up to help in that situation. So the fight just kind of lingered into the top side instead of breaking out around the Rayquaza pit where you would expect it to. And that was off the back of Chunti and their overheat engage. It ended up going really well for them. And it also helps that you're a lot of levels ahead and the pressure's not really on you. So in that situation, definitely feeling a little bit better if you're Rapid Spinners. But Kyle, what does Kyoto to Tokyo have to do in this next game to try to come back here?
I mean, you gotta think about these newly buffed Pokemon, right? You got 2 of them on the side of Rapid Spinners. You got the Garchomp with the new updated moveset of Dig, Earthquake. Maybe not updated, but buffed, right? Significant defense buffs, and then not only that, but the lifesteal from those boosted autos, of healing from the boosted autos, seems very strong. There are so many fights that Garchomp was in the middle of, and just the chaining of those boosted autos, the healing, didn't seem like they were low on HP nearly at all that entire game. And then Blaziken also just ran away with it.
I think that the core with the Wiggly Garchomp with the Dig moveset works so well. And just from seeing it in that game, kind of, I guess, piloted, that could be a very real combo that we see a lot in competitive, because the Dragon Claw moveset that you traditionally see on Garchomp kind of provides it more utility to be able to operate completely on its own, independently. It has some chase, you can run it with eject button, able to make sure that you get that combo out. Dig doesn't have that as strong, so using that moveset along with the Wigglytuff, where suddenly an entire team potentially is just kind of standing there asleep, it really gives you the opportunity to stun and slow opponents, and then you're just able to shred through them. I could really see that being a fantastic option.
Wigglytuff, kind of an unsung hero.
All right.
Would you say? Would you say that? Would you say that? I would say that. That was bad.
That's
but
enough.
I liked it. I'm gonna use
enough.
that. I'm gonna use that. I'm writing that one down. I'm writing that one down for next UCS that we get to cast.
The real Starlight recital was the friends we made along the way. I think that's the most important thing. But I would be happy to see more Wigglytuff. I feel like that's another Pokemon that you kind of see when a player really likes it. But I feel like it always provides some value, especially with its Unite move, being able to cleanse your entire team. I think that the way that you counter something like that is just make sure that the entire team isn't together. And unfortunately for Kyoto to Tokyo's team comp, there wasn't really anything that was able to reposition enemies to be in a situation where the Wigglytuff couldn't provide value. The only thing they really had to do that was Mamoswine, and it ended up being really difficult for the Mamoswine to get in that situation.
It's just tough, right? Like when there's so much crowd control on that side, and you have your big engage as Mamoswine that doesn't really have any sort of like unstoppable, you just kind of get chain CC'd, whether it's from the Snorlax block and heavy slam or the Wigglytuff saying like there was so much, and even like the Garchomp, the earthquake stun, is or the dig stun. I mean, I guess earthquake too at the plus move, right?
Yeah.
There's just so much of it. So be interested to see what happens here in the draft. I do believe that we have the same sides, actually. Rapid Spinner's still going to take side on the purple side, so they will still have that first pick option.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that. They want to grab 2 strong picks that can counter a strong first pick from Rapid Spinners. I feel like teams will kind of go either way with what they want to decide to go with. We're seeing pretty much the same ban shake out. The last one previously was that Umbreon, so Kyoto to Tokyo might go ahead and ban that, or they might want to try to pick something like that up on their side because they know that Rapid Spinners will be getting something else, and it looks like that is what they want to do. They want to kind of throw away the Comfey ban here and maybe look for an Umbreon pick, or if Rapid Spinners doesn't pick up that Garchomp first, which they do, gives Kyoto to Tokyo an opportunity to grab the Umbreon that was previously banned.
I actually really like that strategy, and you just nailed it on the head. That's exactly what they do, because I think they realize that Rapid Spinners highly values that Garchomp. So maybe it is something that you can slow down, potentially, but I don't know. Maybe the mean look does it, but I don't know. It's still like so strong that even if you mean look it, the amount of self-sustain that Garchomp has is pretty insane previously, and now it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, I mean, the banning and the picking phase is a lot of mind games, I feel like, and Kyoto to Tokyo kind of played the mind game correctly. I saw them hovering the option for a Wigglytuff ban, but they ended up going with the Comfey ban, and I'm glad they did, honestly, because it kind of makes them want to pick that Garchomp up again more, assuming that they can get the same type of team composition that they had previously. So it doesn't make them want to change up their first pick strategy so that Kyoto to Tokyo can get the first picks that they want. They also went with Hoopa here in this situation, whereas they had Sableye previously, and I really do like the Hoopa better. I think it's going to provide them some more utility.
I like this gutter pick from Jade of the Inteleon. Right now, you're going to be able to outrange the mage of Kyoto to Tokyo in that Alolan Ninetales, who's going to be more of that, mid-range type of player. Going to provide a lot of crowd control, so that I do kind of like that pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to kind of slow down Rapid Spinners, but I even like this Mimikyu. Hasn't been buffed recently, but maybe with some of the changes, it can shine a little bit more.
Mimikyu is a good response to this Inteleon, I think. I mean, you have Talonflame that can very easily get on top of an Inteleon if it wants to. It can just fly or Brave Bird right over there, take down Jade. But I still do really love this Inteleon option in response to an Alolan Ninetales pick, because you know that you have the range. And now you have extremely good secure on your side, which forces Kyoto to Tokyo into a fight. You have Snipe Shot, which I assume is what we'll be seeing here. And then you have Overheat on Chunti's Blaziken that we saw play very, very well previously. And then Rapid Spinners also took away that Mamoswine. So a lot of CC once again for that heavy frontline core.
Not only that, but Rapid Spinners is going to have a pretty decent Rayquaza fight, right? Like, you have 2 incredible secure tools in not only that Snipe Shot, but that Overheat, like you said, but then you have the massive amount of Rip that the Garchomp will have. So if you get 1 or 2 members down in that Rayquaza for Kyoto to Tokyo, you have to be ready for Rapid Spinners to just rip that off the mat, because they have the ability to do that. But here we go. Game number 2 of round 1 in your best of 3s. Looks like we are going to be paused very quickly.
You wanted to keep everybody on our toes here while we get the game started. Imagine we had a disconnect of some kind. But I did want to revisit the option for the Mimikyu as well, because Mimikyu just provides a second option for getting in on Inteleon. But on Rapid Spinner's side, their front line is going to be really strong. So they can put all their resources onto taking out Inteleon however they want, but you have Garchomp and Blaziken up there that are dealing with your front line. So if you're using your front line as a distraction to go after the back line, your front line is already shredded by the time you're finished that job. So I think that it's going to be a little bit tough for Kyoto to Tokyo to maintain what they want to throughout this match.
Just a lot to deal with. It's a lot to deal with. I'm also kind of interested here, right? While we have the time, looking at some of the items. So we saw Starlight put that Rocky helmet on the Garchomp, so this is going to be a good look at that item. We saw another little bit of a change here in the Inteleon, the normal Inteleon build. So previously with the Drive Lens addition to Pokemon Unite, we saw Inteleon's almost primarily using that. There's no Drive Lens on Jade's Inteleon. She has swapped that out, looks like for Wise glasses. So very interested to see immediate changes into the item builds of these Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it's pretty easy for Inteleon to pick up KOs when stacking up your Drive Lens didn't take that long to make sure that you get to those full 10 stacks, but now that you need 20 stacks to get to the full effect, you might just want to opt for more damage throughout the entirety of the match instead of waiting until mid to late game to be able to pick up that extra damage. And I don't really think that you're worried much about the cooldown aspect of that item on something like Inteleon because of the ability for Snipe Shot to have multiple charges. You could also see Liquidation, I guess, but I wouldn't assume that that would be what we're seeing. I mean, it can be good into things like Speedsters, like Talonflame with a lot of dive to make sure that you're actually hitting, but I think that Snipe Shot is still just a great call, especially if you can hit the snipes.
Yeah, that's the key, right? You gotta hit the snipes. It always can be difficult, but I have full confidence in Jade to be able to do so. It will be a little bit difficult on that Brave Bird. Talonflame, very dodgy Pokemon. It can be quite difficult on the Mimikyu, especially if they go play rough and have the iframes to dodge a lot of that. And then obviously you have to penetrate the front line of Umbreon. Yeah, I still can't imagine Liquidation, especially into a Talonflame, because, I mean, Talonflame Fly can just be that move of choice, right, to kind of just dodge all of the Liquidation, similar to how Talonflame is kind of like a common counter to, Glaceon.
Yeah. Talk about the Umbreon as well, because you mentioned it, that the Umbreon got banned. Now it's picked. Oh, we get to go back in the game, maybe? No? Okay. Well, Umbreon pick. Oh, I was cucked. The Umbreon pick is, I think, I was gonna say, I don't know about Mean Look here because there's 2 frontline all-rounders and 2 frontline defenders. I don't really know how good Mean Look does because nothing's really trying to move around that much. But it could still be a good setup for something like the Alolan Ninetales to make sure that it gets its Blizzard Avalanche combo out, but I kind of would like to see a foul play if this Umbreon is what ends up being picked. Apparently there's a couple issues with draft.
Yeah, I'm looking at just at our backstage chat. Looks like there were some draft issues, so we are going to resolve that pretty soon, get the players back into the lobby. They are going to be doing blind pick with the same Pokemon. So Pokemon will be the same.
Okay, so
I think it might have just been some funkiness with the game. It does happen.
Yeah, the game doesn't run very well. Switch 2 will save us, surely.
Switch 2 save us. Switch 2 save us.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
Okay, so yeah, same Pokemon getting locked in the blind pick. So hopefully this will make things a little bit more smooth for everybody. Gonna see if maybe any of the items changed. Oh wait.
Yeah, I want to bring.
A9 and Talonflame tried to are allowed to because I guess that was who got DC'd or something. No.
Yeah. I want to bring up about the items as well. One Excel bracer on each side. Just one. And it's your... Yeah, exactly. Microsoft Excel bracer. It was taken off the Talonflame, I believe, within the last second, and then Mimikyu is wearing it. Mimikyu is wearing the Excel bracer, and then Chunti's Blaziken is also wearing it. So it might be like a... It might be turning into like a Curse Incensed, Curse Bangle type item where you just need one on your team for the ramp. And then you just hope that you can funnel your KOs and assists into that Pokemon to make sure that they can stack it.
Very interesting. Yeah, I mean... Before, it was very easy to get all of your stacks in, especially on some certain Pokemon. But here we go. Game number 2, attempt number 2. Immediately, we are going to see this pilot, or this Swinub, along with Snorlax, go for an invade of Kyoto to Tokyo Central area.
Oh, and the Swinub takes it away with the Ice Shard. Big for them. Unfortunately, Hoopa does miss that stun move. What is that? Is that Astonish? Is that what that one's called?
Astonish.
They didn't hit it, and Swinub got out with the red buff.
Oh, and Snorlax
got the blue. Oh, no.
Oh, and that one too, dude. Yeah, they're already dead. Let them go. Let them go, sir. Okay, a little bit of a revenge there. Snorlax goes down. Blue buff now on the Alolan Ninetales that was able to evolve. But the damage is done. Rapid Spinners got what they want.
And Garchomp has already made it to level 5, which is huge. We've got level 5 on the Combuskin. This start for Rapid Spinners is something that I just don't know how many teams can properly deal with. I don't know if you go with a counter invade or what, or just like hope, or just leave your central area Pokemon out to dry and just secure your lanes. I don't know what the plan is.
Ooh, there we go. Alolan Ninetales doing a bit of damage, but not quite enough, as Hoopa was the one that fell down in that 2v4 or 4v4. Snorlax immediately going back for a central area invade. Alolan Ninetales is going to snuff out this Swinub invade, but are they going to be able to do enough damage? Eject button is burned from Mr. Eternals. They do escape, but they don't get any buffs this time.
Wow, and the other buff... Our blue buff for the Snorlax, they take it. And I just feel like having this constant pressure of the invasions requires your positioning to be completely different. And the map control is just so easily going over to Rapid Spinners. Even if you're losing that Snorlax, that Swinub, to those invades eventually, the map control is just so valuable.
Mimikyu just barely able to get through that Hoopa hyperspace hole. Looked like the Blaziken was trying to push them out, unable to do so. But Kyoto to Tokyo able to stay upright in that engage. 38-12, advantage Rapid Spinners early on.
Kyoto to Tokyo is handling this much better than they did in the first game. They have kind of a better handle on it, and I think a lot of that does have to do with this Hoopa pick rather than the Sableye, giving them the hyperspace hole option and kind of forces the entire team to play around that move.
We're talking about those snipe shots hitting. Jade just hit a massive one, forcing that Mimikyu back, and Blaziken finishes the job. Great heavy slam engage right onto the Alolan Ninetales, sends them packing. Points are looking to go on in for Rapid Spinners. They're going to find a couple. Umbreon's going to try to find this hyperspace hole. Almost pushed out of it from a couple members of Rapid Spinners. Blaziken is the first one to fall there. Mean Look is extra mean. Piloswine falls back to the Pokemon Center. Kyoto to Tokyo find a couple of big KOs there, and now Regirock might be on the menu.
Huge defensive stand for them. And Regieleki does go over to this Garchomp, and it does force Rapid Spinners to back off that Regirock. That does go over to Kyoto to Tokyo, so they do get a win out of it, but they do lose the top path, and they're very behind in score. Oh, Kyle, we've got a Trick Room Mimikyu on our hands.
I love it. Funny room for this Mimikyu. Oh, massive snipe shot once again. However, Brave Bird is going to take out the Blaziken. Was looking to close off that Alolan Ninetales. Hoopa going to send the team back for some HP regeneration through the hyperspace hole. But right now, 148-12 Rapid Spinners as a hold on this match.
I think this Talonflame is a great pick, especially with that Brave Bird moveset. Just kind of is able to come and do a ton of burst damage. Doesn't give Rapid Spinners time to set up. And I think that's what their composition really needs, is time to set up those moves. And Brave Bird just doesn't allow it. Jumping in here again on Chunti, takes a ton of damage. And is just able to eject button right out of that situation.
Focus Blast gonna connect onto the Talonflame. Flame Sweep return is gonna sweep the Garchomp into harm's way, but no KOs found yet. Citrus Berry taken from Hoopa, but Garchomp gobbled that one right up as it hit the top of the Thea Sky. Right now, it is a little bit of a tough situation for from Kyoto to Tokyo with that level 11 Garchomp and level 10 Blaziken to deal with.
Mimikyu trying to go in on this Mamoswine right now, but Jade is there, pops the Azure Spy Vision, looking for a snipe shot on an A9, does connect, but it looks like everyone will just kind of back out of this situation, trying to deal with Umbreon in the bottom path. Jade connects on the Indeedee instead of the Umbreon, but they get that piece of farm, so I don't think they mind it.
Not too bad. A red buff from Kyoto to Tokyo is awarded to Rapid Spinners the Garchomp. Looking for a little bit of a back cap. Might be able to find it unless a Hoopa Hyperspace Hole sends teams up. Doesn't matter. 34 on in. Basement Reggie on down. It is of the Reggie Rock variety. Brave Bird connects. Immediate damage onto them. Blaziken sees the writing on the wall. Good zoning from Alolan Ninetales. Make sure no one's able to push forward. Snipe shot for a prayer, but just a little bit short. Either way, Kyoto to Tokyo has won both of these Basement Reggies.
Yeah, Snipe Shot was close, but it is Kyoto to Tokyo able to pick up that secure. Though they are behind in the score lead, they are looking much better this match. They are not getting run over nearly as much as they were previously, but a big engage Ice Fang from that Mamoswine, and Rapid Spinners is looking to push in on this Tier 1.
4v2, one immediately falls. It's the Umbreon. Hoopa, though, taking the team. The rings are unbound. Mimikyu goes down, and on the top path, Garchomp getting the best of this fight along with the Regieleki. Hoopa in the unbound form is going to be forced back towards this speed flux zone. Umbreon returning to the fight, trying to defend this T1. Able to do so, Rapid Spinner's going to go ahead and retreat.
Umbreon looking really strong, and we're reminded again of why it's banned. It's just really hard to take it down. Talonflame now with the Brave Bird comes in. Garchomp was looking for that blue buff, not able to find it, but just shredding through that Talonflame. They have to back up.
Man, that health bar regeneration is just insane on that Pokemon as it gets ramped up. There's that Earthquake Dig combination. Almost on the brink of getting KO'd, and look at it! It's self-sustaining. It takes 4 members of Kyoto to Tokyo to finally take it down. Meanwhile, Rapid Spinners was able to clear out a lot of XP on the map and increase their levels. 13 on the Garchomp, 12 on the Blaziken.
Yeah, there's a 12 on the Talonflame as well, and it's likely not going to be too difficult for them to get 13. I think the problem here is trying to get Alolan Ninetales levels up, who's getting very low right now. Hyperspace Hole does come down to transfer Umbreon up into the top path, but Rapid Spinners just so good at maintaining map control even when they're playing against a Hoopa. They're just all over the map, and Kyoto to Tokyo doesn't really know how to deal with it. That being said, Mimikyu with a big 40 in the top path.
That's finally a little bit of XP for Kyoto to Tokyo. However, Mimikyu might be paying for it. Blaziken is going to be able to chase them down. At least almost. There's the eject button burn from Blaziken. Are they going to be able to get a focus blast on him as Jade is able to get that Reggie Rock for the Rapid Spinners? Somehow, someway, Mimikyu, 1 HP in a dream, gets on a Wade.
Mimikyu does get out. Talonflame does not. They were picked up there by that Mamoswine. They are going to respawn very soon, but not before the Rayquaza hits the map, and Rapid Spinners is positioning very closely to the Rayquaza pit. It looks like they're going for the rip.
Oh, this is the rip that we talked about. Rapid Spinners going for it. Mimikyu is going to play with me. Garchomp able to take it off the map. Rapid Spinners immediately onto the Rayquaza. They're going to take it, and with 3 members down, likely taking game 2.
As soon as the Talonflame goes down there, that's the only option, realistically, that Kyoto to Tokyo has for a secure in that moment. As soon as Talonflame goes down, I can literally hear, I feel like I'm in the comms with them. Just rip it, take it off the map. We have way better secure, and Talon is not here. By the time Talon even respawns and is able to get even close to the pit, Rayquaza is already down. Rapid Spinners takes this series, and they are racking up more points.
There we go, yeah, 2-0. Start of the Underdunk 51 broadcast. Rapid Spinners, still a minute left, but it's going to take a lot for Kyoto to Tokyo to catch up. Full pockets from every single player, and as more Pokemon fall, that task becomes more and more unlikely to happen. Either way, like you said, only one real secure tool. Oh my gosh, Jade just absolutely heating up. Only one
Jade.
secure tool. This is sick. This
Jade's
is silly.
being
There's a
mean
quadra.
now.
Give her the penta. Give her the penta. Get it. Umbreon's getting away. That's sad. I was ready for it.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, I think that was a little bit mean. Talonflame was just trying to dance with them, have a good time. Umbreon will be able to get some points in, but I think that they really did have a chance this time. Kyoto to Tokyo definitely did have a shot, but it was just a fantastic engagement by the Mamoswine to take out that Talonflame while the Mimikyu was running away. I mean, I think the Talonflame definitely made a mistake there, but I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to go in to defend from the Mimikyu getting jumped on, but they didn't realize that their timer would not be up in time for the Rayquaza to hit. We end up with a dance party on the enemy base, and it is going to be Rapid Spinners taking this one 2-0.
2-0. They're going to be advancing on to the next round, where they will be taking on KDU, which is the #1 seed of this tournament, based on the players as well as their performance in the Master Series with the engagement. Looking at the final stats, 892 to 200 your final score, racking up the KOs, and especially in that last little bit, Jade 7 KOs, 4 assists, leading the charge for the Rapid Spinners.
Hey, before those KOs came after the game was already won, so Jade, don't get too cocky. But yeah. I think that Inteleon pick did really work out. She was just hitting those snipes throughout the entire match. It was really, really good. And that core front line of just the ton of CC that makes it really difficult to penetrate through and even get to that Inteleon. I don't know how much damage Jade ended up taking. Yeah, 7,000 damage. Even with the Brave Bird Talonflame, Jade was untouched.
Yeah, barely sneezed on that entire match. 89k to dealt as well. So definitely did some damage. Definitely did not take much damage. So yeah, Rapid Spinners look pretty dominant in both Game 1 and Game 2. And exactly what we were talking about after this draft is you got to be ready for the rip. And like you said, Talonflame falls, immediately rip. That was really their one secure tool. I mean, yeah, maybe Alolan Ninetales Unite move. That's really about it that you have for like reliable secures. So once that Brave Bird's down, it's, you know, almost free for the Spinners.
Especially with how much rip they have. You got Blaziken and Garchomp. I mean, we saw the way that Starlight was standing in the enemy central area, requiring 4 members of Kyoto to Tokyo to have to come deal with them, as they were just able to self-sustain and shred. It didn't matter how much HP those Pokemon had, just absolutely shredding. And maybe that's the Rocky Helmet at work, Kyle. The freshly buffed Rocky Helmet.
Rocky Helmet's pretty insane. I mean, it's 1-0 right now. So, Rocky Helmet. Yeah, I mean, looking at the stats overall, I mean, it's been, you know, pretty significant damage numbers for this squad. I'll be interested to see, you know, how their set with KDU ends up playing out. But that's a tough team. So yeah, let's take a look at the bracket real quick. Rapid Spinners 2-0 here. Across the map, Enigma 2-0, Sugar Rush 2-0. So 2-0s all around so far.
Yeah, interesting. I feel like, I mean, that's fairly common for a first round, but I feel like sometimes we see some games that head into game number 3s, but I guess we are just moving forward pretty quickly. Maybe the quarterfinals will be the round where we get to see a bunch of game 3s, but we'll be seeing that very soon. I'm looking forward to seeing how the KDU Rapid Spinners match ends up working out, but we've got some great matches in those, I feel like in those G and H sets. We're going to be seeing one of those very soon.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break while we get that next match set up. It should be Micro and Cheese and Sugar Rush that we are going to catch. We'll double check. But once we get back from break, we got more Underdunk, so don't go too far, folks. We'll be back very, very soon.